Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of our Integra Type S review. I guess that rhymes there. Certainly we are so excited to show you what this Integra Type S is like behind the wheel. We've been enjoying it. We've been sitting on this footage waiting to post it until the embargo lifted, and that time has finally come. So let's get behind the wheel without further ado and see what this Type S Integra is capable of. All right.
Nice.
It's a good flat road for a good acceleration in this all-new Integra Type S. Alrighty. The accelerations never get old.
Absolutely not.
In this Integra Type S. Boy, this thing is just a blast. And it's not just fun to drive, which is what I'd classify the regular Integra as. This actually has a lot of power on board as well, because this is the Civic Type R's motor plus 5 horsepower in this Integra model. So it's a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's going to be making 320 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, and you can definitely feel that when you start to hit that accelerator.
I like that you can hear the turbo.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's real rewarding to hear that noise. And Acura has done a lot of work on the exhaust sound for this Integra Type S. Yes. You gotta love it. So much fun.
That's right. And fun. That really starts with this 6-speed manual transmission. This thing is absolutely fantastic. The things that Honda and Acura do with their manual transmissions are just unrivaled, really. The quality of the shifter is so rewarding. You have such a nice, clicky, short throw. It just feels really fantastic when you're coming through all the gears. And it's just so rewarding. You literally just want to shift as many times as possible. It's just to keep enjoying it.
It's one of my favorite transmissions that you can get in any vehicle. It's so good in the Type R, so good in this Type S, so good in really the regular Honda Civic models. It's just so good.
Right, and of course they keep making it even better as you go up the performance. Different, very technical aspects have changed with the Type S versus the regular Integra, but like I said, what you really need to know is just that the quality of it is spectacular.
A+. Yeah, and this is going to be the only transmission offered on the Type S Integra. So not only is it a class exclusive feature, it is your only option. You cannot get a dual clutch transmission or any form of automatic. They're not offering the CVT on this Integra Type S, thank goodness. So it's going to be a row your own experience, which I absolutely love. I mean, so many car brands are going away from manual transmission cars, and here we have Acura coming in with a 6-speed manual driver focused vehicle. So it is really awesome, and it is class exclusive. And I do want to point out that the horsepower is more than what you're going to get on the CLA 35, the M2 35 Grand Coupe, as well as the Audi S3. So more power and the manual transmission. Double whammy there.
Exactly. There's a big emphasis on that, the aspect that you have, because it is exclusive. And, you know, like Mason was saying, they really have, manual transmissions have just been falling onto the wayside in so many models, and it's really nice to see not just a manual, but a manual exclusive. This is the Enthusiast Special. Now we do have downshift rev matching, which is really nice. And let's talk a little bit about the exhaust system.
Yes.
So you can probably hear that. They have done a lot of work with the exhaust system to make it, you know, very expressive.
Now has the real nice pops and crackles that, you know, we're a big fan of on this channel. The S3 did also have that, so I'm really happy that they kind of added that from the Type R. That was one of our bigger complaints about the Civic Type R, was the fact that the exhaust was a little bit of a letdown. It didn't have as much character as we wanted, and we're certainly getting a lot more character with this Type S exhaust.
There you go. Little sample. All right, so we made it out on a good country road here to really demonstrate the performance abilities of this Type S. Now, just a spoiler alert, button down really doesn't even begin to describe how this performs. It's absolutely excellent, as you're gonna see going around some corners here. We drove this out on this road earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And this is certainly a real curvy one.
As a whole package, it just comes together so good out here on a canyon. You can tell it's completely at home out here on a twisty road. You know, we actually just drove it through some traffic, and it did perfectly fine in those conditions. But when you take it out on a road like this, you can just feel this car come alive.
Exactly. This is what I imagine people are going to want to do with a vehicle like this. You can use it as a daily driver, of course, but then you can really open it up on a back road and just drive the heck out of it. With the foundation being, of course, a Civic Type R, you're already starting with just a fantastic place, right? And like Mason is saying, all this really comes together. The stuff we talked about, the performance of the engine, the manual transmission, how fun it is to shift through the gears, the excellent feel. The steering is extremely accurate, very fast. Of course, you don't have basically any body roll whatsoever, so as you go around corners, you just have phenomenal road grip. And it just overall feels so stable and just incredibly fun to drive. That's really the whole point. At the end of the day, right? It's about putting that smile on your face, being fun to drive, and this definitely puts a big goofy grin on your face when you can really open it up, hear that sport exhaust, get the pops and crackles. It's really rewarding, because we've been driving this, like I said, several hours at this point, and it doesn't really get old at all.
It's just so fun. Wow.
Now I do want to talk a little bit about the adaptive suspension system, because it makes a huge difference with this Type S. Right now we're in the Sport Plus, so that's going to be your most aggressive setting on this model. Obviously it's going to be very firm. This is going to be the setting where you have basically no body roll, like I was saying. You go around the corners. You know, it's pretty hardcore. Although maybe not quite as hardcore as the Plus R mode and the Type R, but still very, very firm. Now, we were talking about this earlier when we were on the highway, so you want to be comfortable, right? You can switch it into comfort mode, And then that's going to soften up the suspension, giving you a good deal of comfort. I mean, it's not like a Lincoln Town Car or anything like that, obviously, but you know, it's going to be relatively comfortable and make it a lot more livable on a daily drive. And then my favorite drive mode is honestly the individual mode.
Yeah.
That's a cool feature where you can just customize different things for each of these different settings that I've been talking about. So for instance, you know, if you want to ride a little bit more comfortable and have the exhaust in its loudest setting, you can make that happen. And that's actually what we have configured the individual mode to be. Definitely a nice feature to have, you know, and again, that adaptability is what makes this a vehicle that you could live with every day, because you can be comfortable, you can bring the family along, but then you can just absolutely tear up a canyon back road like we're doing right now. As far as putting power down to the ground, this is going to be front wheel drive only, just like it is with the Type R. That being said, you do have a front limited slip diff, so in our experience today, it seems to be able to put the power down pretty well.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, if you're in wet conditions or something like that, thankfully it hasn't rained yet today, so like I said, does a really good job with getting the power down, just like the Type R does.
Yeah, I mean, we sampled out the Type R very extensively on the racetrack as well, and it really does a great job of putting the power down. You'd be hard-pressed. I mean, it's not going to be as good as like a Quattro all-wheel drive system in the Audi S3, but being front-wheel drive is not as big of a problem as you might think it would be. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and get one of our signature elements, our sound level reading. Let's go ahead and toggle into comfort mode. Now we are in California, but
the road's a little rough, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyways.
looks like we're settling. Actually, this is a little bit smoother. I'll try this. Settling in at 64.4 decibels there as our sound level reading. Now, like we mentioned, we are in Santa Barbara. We're on a press program, so this is not our home stretch of road to test the Integra Type S on. So it's not exactly a fair comparison because this road is certainly a lot rougher here in Santa Barbara.
Yes.
That being said, though, we just we're in a lot of cars, so we can typically tell, and it does seem like this Integra Type S doesn't have a lot of sound deadening going on here. It seems pretty much like the Type R when it comes to the noise level entering into the cabin. You can certainly hear a lot of road noise entering in, especially if you're on a rougher road like this. But you do get a lot of engine noise coming in as well, which is certainly what you want out of this Integra Type S.
You know, we're going for a kind of a harder edge feel with the Type S, and this is certainly one of the ways that it does accomplish it.
Now, I do want to talk about your ride quality for the Integra Type S. We hit it a little bit earlier with the adaptive suspension discussion, but I do just want to say that this Integra does have a very good ride quality. The adaptive dampers really put the icing on the cake of making this feel a lot more premium than some of the other rivals, as well as I feel like a little bit more comfortable than the Civic Type R for sure. I also want to talk about the fuel economy and just some normal stuff with this Type S. We're looking at 21, 28, 24 miles a gallon combined for all versions of the Integra Type S, and do keep in mind this does use premium fuel. So not bad fuel economy for the amount of power, as well as having a manual transmission.
Let's do our airball and slam dunk. I'm going to start with the slam dunk. This is so simple and so clear to us. It's just the fact that this thing exists.
Yep.
Acura is here dropping in 2023 a manual transmission
24
sports sedan.
Yep.
What the actual year it is right now is 2023. Thank you very much.
24 model year.
Point being is nowadays most of what you hear on the automotive news is my new electric crossover is coming out soon. And yes, Acura is going to launch a electric crossover soon, but we're dropping a manual transmission sports sedan first, and that's just so exciting to have something like this nowadays, and it really is just, phenomenal behind the wheel. It really puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, and as far as our airball is concerned, it is really difficult to find one when you're talking about a car as good as this Integra Type S. But one thing we're a little disappointed by is that we do not have a moonroof on this model, especially being a the premium version. I was really hoping to get that premium feature over a Civic Type R, and we will also add in there that the price is a little bit pricey when you look at compared to a fully loaded Integra without the Type S package. So you can get a fully loaded Integra with the manual transmission for about $38,000, and the price on this one is coming in starting at $50,800. So it's about a $14,000 premium. So you're going to be paying a lot more for this Type S.
And that's already, a very fun car, and it does have a manual transmission as well.
And lastly here, I do want to talk about your warranty information. Acura Signature Warranty applies here, and it's a very good one. 4 year 50,000 miles for basic, 6 year 70,000 miles for your powertrain, as well as 2 years of complimentary maintenance on this Integra model.